Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report, and we're pushing up really quite strongly here. So this market is very close to the next closest largest number, which is 5,900. It's also the Fibonacci 78.6 point retracement level from this high to this low here. So we should expect some sort of corrective pattern across the 5/9, and also too in a bullish market we can expect the Wednesdays and Thursdays to be the corrective days. Wednesday can make the midweek high, and Thursday can open higher and then trade lower. So we look at Thursday being the bear day. So let's just go in. We're just tracking this little impulse wave to the upside here. And if we move into the 4-hour chart here, then sort of move in from that point. So we're basically looking at it like this. So this 5/9 here it's already started to create resistance here, and the normal flow for things, as you know, would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the corrective pattern, and then resuming the trend from that point there. So it's really just moving from resistance over to support, and the trick is not to get chopped up in the meantime here. The trend up here in terms of its impulse wave, being an impulse wave is 5 waves, is certainly not finished yet. So this is the old high here, roughly around the 5/9 area here at the top here, and then of course 6,000 here. So we're going to get a bit of grief in this area here. Normally, if the extension is in wave 3, which it is in this case, then wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same size as a rule of thumb. So coming into I don't think the 2-hour chart's going to give us much there. The 1-hour chart is something that we can work on. I won't go into the tick chart today because there's just no need to. So yeah, look, this is the basic structure that I was looking at here at the moment. So looking at, well, this is another little point to here. I've always had this as a blue wave 4, but I'm thinking that, you know, if I lined this market up with the US market, then I would treat 1 degree smaller into this wave 4 here. So I'm a bit topsy-turvy about this at the moment. If we did it just on the basis of the Australian market, it would be an intermediate wave 4. If we did it in line with the Euros, the FTSE, and all the rest of the guys on that side of the world, then we would need to put it as this wave 4. Not that it makes a lot of difference at this stage. You know, when we're trading this market here, we tend to be reasonably short term. Obviously, everybody's different, but anyway, we'll get back to this one here. But still, there's, you know, there's still a long way to go up, because if we look at, for instance, well, I always use CBA as the cornerstone for looking at things. So with CBA here, we're looking, this was the GFC here, which was an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then we're looking at up as wave 1 and wave 2 of primary degree, and then all the way up for wave 3. We know that if wave 2 is simple as an ABC here, then wave 4 can be much more complex, and yeah, it sort of is really, and it could even get more complex as well. It's possible for us to, and probably the case, we could put wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and wave 3 normally touches on the level there, then wave 4 and wave 5. This would be out of whack from the US markets as such, but you know, we're not always a dog on the lead, thank God. And you know, we'd be looking for structure like that, but I can't confirm that just yet, because CBA has been, you know, caught with its pants down basically with, you know, handling money and so on. So it could recover quite quickly under new management and you know, catch up to Westpac and ANZ and so on. Or this, but I just need to confirm this, because this little rally that's starting here, there can still be there's still space for it to have one more move down here, and if that's the case, then I would need to move that wave 4 over to here. So I need to see CBA move up a little bit. Normally I'd like to see it sitting above the level 80 here, and then obviously it's confirmed that way, but I can confirm it before that. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Westpac's basically leading, out of the 4 pillar banks, it's sort of leading the way up here a little bit. So with Westpac on the monthly chart here as well, we've got the GFC here, and as wave 4, then wave 1 and wave 2 and wave 3 here, and wave 4 into this space here, and that means that we can look at this as being wave 1 and wave 2 here. I'd also like to see this move up a little bit further here and get more structure here, but it is looking quite good, as I've mentioned before here, or may have mentioned. So from this low here, looking at this here as wave 1, ABC for wave 2, then 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for wave 3, then wave 4. This is a little bit like the ASX 200. And yeah, so it's showing all the right things. What I would like to see here next is that I would like to see, hoping that Thursday is going to be the bear day, which it normally is in a bullish market, that we start to see a retest of this number here, 33, because it's group 1, it's minor group 1. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 of the major level here, and this is group 1. So we know if we get tested support on top of group 1, then we're going to be going up to 5 at that point. But we want to see that there. I want to make sure that this is on the right track. I'm quite sure it is, because we're getting a nice extension in this wave here. And also, too, the reason that I think that we're obviously pushing up higher, if I can just take some liberty and just I have to go to the Trading Levels charting program for this, and I'll just move this down to here so I can see. So if I look at this is the, I'll just go through these a little bit. I won't put the levels on, but this is pretty much the same as XJO. This is the, I'll just get rid of that. That's the top 50 stocks. This is the consumer discretionaries, so we can see that that's pushing up quite nicely. And it's quite interesting here too, I'll just sort of point this out here, is that this little move up through here and back down to here, in some cases, this, you could count this as wave 1 and wave 2 here, but in some other cases, this low here is actually below this low here, so we can't use it. So some we can, some we can't at this stage. So it's consumer discretionaries. This is consumer staples here, so you can see how sort of strong this is here. And this is the energy market here. This is all the daily chart here, and I should just bring the date back in here so we can see that one. That's why we've been sort of long in BPT, OSH, Santos, and trying to get into Woodside as well. It's our second attempt to get into Woodside. So I know that this is trending here as such. So. And we know that the gas market is making a bit of an effort as well. I'll just bring that up if I can, natural gas, just while we're on this case here. Just let me, I mean, because that's kind of the whole thing really, isn't it? It's looking at the commodities to find out what's trending and then go and trade the stocks, basically. So this is Santos, this is natural gas here. And, you know, we've got at this stage here, we're quite a nice A wave, B wave, and C wave in 5 waves. This is a little bit dodgy here for a wave 1, but I'm going to call it a wave 1 because this move down here is corrective, but it's not the best looking thing, and, you know, I still got to scratch my head about it. But being back above the level here, with natural gas here, we could see it now push up here. Okay, everything sort of, all of this is in place here now for this to push up. So if we do start seeing it creep up here, it has a long way to go. So that means that Woodside and the gas ones would move up as well and really help that energy sector move up. So that's this is the finance sector. This is very similar to the banking sector, but this is the XFJ, which has obviously the insurance companies in it and yada, yada, yada. So we'd been looking at this here in terms of, we noted this here being an impulse wave here. So and this is the same as the banking sector here. This is on medium level here, 60, 65 here. So that's good. But main point here being is that this is wave 1 and wave 2 here. So we'd be looking for, we're in wave 3 at the moment, wave 4 and wave 5. So this is the financial sort of section. This is the XXJ, the banking sector. So it's doing the same thing as well. All I can say here as well, this could still be in a major corrective pattern, but the main point being here is that we have to get 5 waves here now, so that's basically what we're looking at. Here we'll get a correction at 6.5 here, and 6.4 is going to reflect that there as well. This is the gold index. I won't go into gold at the moment. It's a little bit more complex. The healthcare is doing much the same thing as well. We do need to be careful about certain price points and levels and so on. So I don't like spikes in the market, so I'll just take it from this low here. This is the 61.8% mark here, but we are seeing it like IVC stock, Invicare really moving off quite nicely. Now this is the industrials here. So look, this is where I start to get in to know that we're going to be pushing into new highs here, because if some of the sectors, if this was going to fail, it would have failed at the 61.8% mark. So it's pushing up higher here. So it's likely to take the top out. It will have a sticky point here, of course, but because it's traveling so high, then it means that these are the leaders, and that means that the other ones, the followers, are going to eventually catch up. Now this is technology here, info and technology. So we can see that from its previous correction, it's it's got double tops now. So double tops are never the end of the trend. So it's going to be pushing higher as well. And of course, we've got the materials sector, the XMJ, which is also making, it's also leading to the upside here. In a strong trend. We know that anyway from other stocks. All the stocks that started to trend in January 2016, which is BHP, Rio, all the US banks, the S&P 500, the DAX, they're all in that same trend. The metals and the mining are in the same thing as well. So it is good to look at the sectors just to get an idea of what sector that you should be in, or what's pushing it to the upside. So I'm just going to do one more, which is the mid caps, because they're the sort of the showy sign here, because the mid caps here, the ASX 200 top 50 mid caps here is doing extremely well here, and we can look at this in terms of moving up higher here as well. So our target here for this little trend here would be the 6,500 here, and the market's been vibrating really centrally here at the 62, and the 62 really in terms of geometry would be the 61.8%, because markets don't work in cycles, they work in more of a spiral, the way that plants grow, unfold, the way the universe unfolds, all the rest of it, and we're nature ourselves as well. So it's all in the same basket. So these numbers come in quite strongly. Anyway, sorry to rabbit on all about that, but let's go back to the ASX 200 and just nail in what kind of expected over the next day or two, which would be I need to do more work to see if I've actually nailed this trend down. It's a little bit messy in some places here, but I'm not far off it. But the main point here is that 5.9 is a big number, and we know the market's reacted to it as we'd expect it to react here. The only thing that I can say here is that if this is a wave 3 here, so from wave 2 here, we can see we've got wave 1 and 2 and 3, sideways for 4 and up for 5 here. So normally when I look at a level, we would have the arrival, the reaction in 3 waves, and then the first high above the level in 5 waves, and then the A, the B, and the C correction, something like that, and then we push off like that. So that's what we're expecting. In Elliott terms, this is wave 3, wave 4, wave 5 to make the bigger wave 3 here, then the ABC pattern for wave 4, pulling back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree if that's in there. But what normally happens is that this is a wave 4 here, so it's quite possible for this to move back into this wave 4 low in here as well. Okay, I'm just not sure about that, but what I can say is that with the levels here, this number here, 5872, I'll get my thing working, 5872, if that becomes the retested resistance, then expect the market back down at 58550 here, the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. The other way to look at this too, of course, is from wave 2 here up to wave 3 here. The 38.2% retracement also brings us back at 5850 here as well. So it's possible for this market to come down, but and also too with Wednesday's normally a bit of a V-shaped day. And what I mean by that is that it can open a little bit higher, but then trade down for the morning session and then trade higher for the afternoon session and make new highs for the week. And then Thursday can it can just drop on Thursday, but it can also open a little bit higher and then have the bear day. So that would really be in sync with having this here, and then the Thursday bringing this down here. Okay, so anyway, that's critical there. So no shorting and all the rest of it. The idea is to buy at this point, not really to short it at this point. But if that 5872 becomes a retested resistance, then expect it to come down through here. But yeah, Wednesday can be bearish in the morning session and then bullish in the afternoon session. So it's basically Wednesday and Thursdays that will take out your stops for the week. And the idea to build a trade into the trend is to do your buying Thursday afternoon, Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Monday morning, Monday lunchtime, because you'll see profit taking on Tuesday and that morning, and then the trend resuming on Tuesday afternoon, and then you're back into that Wednesday and Thursday again, which can take your stops out. So don't overtrade into those things and plan carefully. All right, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.